Welcome to Attican Plays Surviving the Aftermath. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to this introduction to a new game for me called Surviving the Aftermath. Now, this is a game by Paradox and Ice Flake Studios. It's currently on Epic. It's not on Steam, but I'm running this through Epic. And it is basically for me, it's a combination, from my experience, of Banished and Civilization. It sort of has a survival city building mode and a go out on a map with big old characters and try to find things to help your civilization survive. So what I'm going to do here is just introduce you to this game and see if you're interested in it. I'm actually going to just say, if I get 50 likes on this video, I'll continue doing this series. Otherwise, I'm not going to fool with it. So I want to know if you're interested. So let me give you an intro to see if it piques your interest. So we're going to do a new game, and I'm going to have to turn the music down even more. So hold on one second. All right, hopefully that'll be a little better. Okay, so we're going to do a new game, and it does have the ability you can turn the tutorial on. It'll give you hints about each little thing. I'm going to turn it off because I find them annoying, and after you played it a bit, they are annoying. And again, I'm just introducing this to you. So let's turn them off, and I want to show you how you kind of set up the game. The game basically has a whole set of concepts: environment, catastrophes, resources, survivors, challenge, and gatekeeper, and individuals. And it kind of sets up just how hard is the game going to be. And you can choose to have the game from everything from easy to medium difficulty to hardest on each of these categories. Now, if those of you know my channel, I'll play everything on the hardest category, but I want to just show you the differences quickly. For environment, it basically means you get a temperate, mild climate, so you're not using water so quickly. You get more fertile soil. In the middle, you get kind of average of each with some fertile soil. And then the one we'll be playing, the planet is a wasteland. You get very little fertile soil, and everything's hot and dry, and your water consumption's high, and it's tough. Life is tough. Then you go to catastrophes, same kind of thing. You can have some catastrophes and some contamination. You can have kind of average, or you can have catastrophes happening all the time. Just constant bombardment of meteor storms and nuclear fallout and heat waves and what have you. And a high-level contamination, meaning that your folks are walking over contaminated land all the time. Of course, that's what we're going to do. So then for resources, you can have a fair amount of starting resources, so you get off to a pretty good start. Again, an average one where you have some resources, or you can just be hurting. You got very little to work with, and you better get right on it or you're not going to make it. So that's what we want. So we go to survivors, and then we're going to look. This is basically telling you how many folks you get to start with. 8 adults and 4 children, 7 adults and 3, or 6 and 2, of course. And what happens here is the way you start, if you have very few people to do work, you're going to have to manage what work they do proactively, at least at the beginning, to make sure that your colony can survive. So that's what we want. And then the challenge itself, the challenges are things that either bandits coming in and threatening us, or wanting to trade with us, or interactions with other societies, and we can have a few of them in easy exploration, or we can have hard exploration and bandits that are a little harder, or we can, when we're out exploring the map outside of our colony, we can have lots of hardened bandits. Yeah, that's what we want. And then gatekeeper, it basically says, if you look at folks coming in, are you going to get the folks you need when you need them? Or is it going to be average, or is it going to be tough? Anything could happen. We could get a sudden influx of 25 colonists who want to join us, or whatever. We want it as hard as we can get it. So you can see we basically have it as 100% difficulty. So we've set this game up to be as hard as it can be. I like blue, and then you can pick a color that you like, and then you can pick your symbol. They're all pretty cool, but that one right there is actually pretty close to the Attican coat of arms, so we'll go with that. And then you can set up the name of your colony. For me, I'm going to call it, for my own personal reasons, this is going to be Proctorville. And our motto is going to be something I used to tell my kids. If I could type, suck it up. Here we go. We have Proctorville on 100% difficulty with a motto of suck it up. And this tells us this is a recap of everything we have. We know we're going to have a terrible climate, very little fertile soil, lots of catastrophes, very few people to work with, lots of weirdos and criminals and oddballs showing up at our gates. We're going to have lots of bandits out there in the world to deal with. Our gatekeeper is going to get all kinds of weird things coming up to the gate. And here we go. All right, so here we are. Here we've started, and I'm going to start with my first gripe. This is one I've heard, I think has been out on forums before. You cannot scroll all the way up to see your whole land. You have to actually. It's one of those WASD kind of deals where you move around with this, which that part's okay, but you can't scroll up and see everything. So you've got to kind of move around. And it's kind of hard to keep track of where you are because there's also no mini map. So I guess I'm making two suggestions to the developers. Please allow us to scroll all the way up so we can see the whole thing. And two, give us a mini map so we know where we are when we are looking at something. Now this particular one, I've played this game multiple times now. As those of you who know my channel know, I don't just play games guessing. I figure them out and then I show them to you. I have played this one multiple times, what I would consider to completion or to success based on where we are in early access. And I can tell you right now that we drew an easy map. This one, this one's really easy because of the water here. We can do fishing right away. We've got the metal scrap and the plastic scrap nearby. Let's see, farmland. We've got a little fertile land right here. The land is either barren or average fertility or fertile. And of course we want to do our farming on fertile land. Another interesting thing about the game is, time is simulated in its own way, like all these games. There's some right there, and there's some up here, fertile land. But farming's actually viable right off the bat. You start harvesting crops very, very quickly. It's not like a year from now we'll see our first crops come out. So much so that we can plant some crops right away to get going. Now we need to worry about three things right off the bat that I'll tell you. Two I agree with: water and food. We have got to get water and food right off the bat. And you'll notice up here is our resources, and our water's already negative. This is part of our hard start. We're losing water. Our folks will all die of dehydration if we don't fix that right away. So the very first thing we have to do here is put in a well. Okay, and I'm going to set these stockpiles to go out. I'm going to make their range as big as I can get it, and tell that stockpile to get to work. And then I'm going to tell the food storage to go out and pick up berries so that we'll have something to eat right off the bat. And I'm going to try to have the discipline to only build one thing at a time. So here we go. We're going to build that well, and we're going to have our folks start gathering the resources for our stockpile and food for our food storage, which is this building right here. And we've got a little bit of our opening goods are right here, just a pile of boxes with some stuff on it to help us get going. So now we've solved our first water problem, and now we need to think about our getting some food coming in. We can live off the berries for a fair amount of time, but again, farming can actually be done very early in this game and fairly effectively. So if we could get, if there's any way to get a couple, 3 would be awesome, but 3 is not going to work. All right, we can get a couple of farms right there, and I'd like to have at least one more for our initial set of folks. Let's see here. Here I am back to, I couldn't tell where I was. Okay, oh, this is good over here. All right, this will work. Let's put another field. Looks like we might get 3 or 4 fields over there. We can get 1. I'd like to have 3 farms going right off the bat just to get us some early food. And I'm going to set up roads. Roads make a huge difference in the speed at which our folks will move around. I mean, it's just amazing the difference between having a road network and not. And we'll have to wait for some of this to get cleared to really finish it off. But the other nice thing about this particular game is if I build a road that goes up to the north and then over to the west, for example, if somebody wants to go from here over here, they won't walk along the hypotenuse, if you will, the straight line. They will actually take the road if there's a road available, which is great. I find a lot of games you build the roads, then people ignore them. So here we go. We've got food. We've got water. Now, you would think the next thing we need is shelter. I don't find shelter. I find shelter to be important, but not yet. I'm going to just build a little bit of a road network just to give me an idea of where I want to build stuff. Now, to build things in this game, right off the bat, we need planks, which we're going to be picking up at first from rubble that's laying around in our colony. We need concrete, which again, we're going to be picking up from rubble around the colony. And then we need to take these piles of metal and convert them into usable metal, and we need to take these piles of plastic and convert them into usable plastic. So the next 2 things we're going to get here are a scrapper, which is the building which converts that metal into usable metal, and a recycler, which is going to convert our plastic. So that's what we want to build. I said I was going to build one at a time, so let me stop that. I'm already cheating because I'm out here building farms, but that's all right. So we've got some water. We're harvesting some farm. Now, our crops right now, we start out with 2 crops, corn and potatoes. Corn is fast growing, but a low yield. Potatoes are slower growing, but a higher yield. So what we're going to do is actually set all of them to corn to start with and get that first batch of corn in there. And then as soon as they've been planted, we're going to set it up to convert them over and do potatoes from then on. We're going to move the work area for our metal, our scrapper, over here where you can pick up scrap from those 2 piles. And then we can go ahead and build our recycler. And you can see our poor people are sleeping out on the ground. A lot of them, and a lot of them are just taking time off. I'm not sure what they're doing. Come on, folks, let's get back to work. All right, now we've got someone working on our metal. Notice up here we've got 2 people who are carriers out of 8 total people. We've got 2 children and 6 adults. And what that means is that we have 6 of our 8 assigned to a job. And that's really our farms and our metal and our scrapper. But our farmers can actually do work for us, and then they can go off and be carriers when the fields are in the growth stage. So right here, we're in growing. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and turn this over to corn. This one's growing. I would say your next batch will be potatoes, because they're actually a better crop overall, better yield for the amount of work you do and the time you have to wait. But now we'll get a quick batch in to come in and give us some food right off the bat, and then we'll start growing potatoes after that from those farms. So we're off to a pretty good start, and we'd love to have people with a home, but we're not going to do that yet. We are going to go out here and build the next key thing, which is the gate. Now the gate is what accesses the rest of the world, opens us up to the rest of the world, opens up the rest of the world to us. So once we get that gate built, people will start coming here to perhaps join our colony, or we will be able to go out and do things in the outside world. And of course, we immediately got a meteor and took out one of our farms. So start over with that one. Get messages up here telling you what's going on. I'm going to right click that one because I've already dealt with it. And we've got this bug up here where we can report bugs, which is kind of nice. All right, so we rebuilt it, so let's do corn again. Notice somebody was automatically assigned to that. So now we're down to one carrier. That one carrier, we need to get this built. Oh, we're looking good here. We're almost finished getting enough. Oh, here we go. We got all our materials, so the builder will come down here and build our gate. And that'll open us up to the rest of the world. And I could have, and I think most people would jump and build either tents or emergency shelters for their folks, but they provide very little benefit. And you notice our people they're bouncing between unhappy and okay. And it's because they're homeless. You see how they kind of bouncing back and forth. So we're just running on the edge right now of being okay and unhappy. And honestly, don't care right now. It's okay. It is okay. The strategy I want to take here is actually to build these people better homes right off the bat. You can see we're getting low on food, but we've got, our corn is kind of coming in. We'll watch that closely, and we can do an early harvest if we have to. But we've got people out gathering up planks and concrete. We've got a person getting scrap metal for us. We've got a person getting plastics for us, so we're building those up. Our plastics is producing both plastics and fiber, and fibers will be used for making clothing. So now, as soon as we got the gate, we got some folks coming to want to join us, and there's two things going on here. One, we can get some more workers, which we need in order to get more done. And two, we can get Platty here, who is a specialist. She's the person who will go out into the world for us and scavenge for us. So we're going to accept those for sure. And the first thing we're going to do is stop and take a look at the outside world. So this is the kind of part of the game. We've been playing Banished. Now we're going to go play Civilization for a bit, or Civilization-like game, because now we have Platty. If we select Platty, she can move. She has a movement, or she's rated to move 6. There are others who are faster, can move up to 8 is the fastest I've seen. And what she can do is she can go to like this little farm that's been abandoned and gather up food for us, or she can go out and explore and find things in this land around us. And you can see this world is actually quite large that we can explore. There's a fairly large world out here for us to look at around our colony. So there's a bunch of ways we could go about this. I've tried multiple. They all work. One is scavenge, come back, scavenge, go around. What I want to do, because I haven't built any homes, is I want to look around and see if I can find some research. Now, we get research out in the world. So there's some concrete. That would be a lovely thing to have. Now, you'll notice she had 6 move points, 6 points total. I did that, I right-clicked on this little region and said explore it. That used up all our points. So when you make a move with these guys, you get a combination of the movement that they can make plus some action, like either picking up goods, like I could take her next turn and pick up some of that concrete to carry back to Proctorville, or I could explore some more. And now she's done. She can't do anything else. She's just going to sit there and rest until she's rested up and ready to make her next action. So we're going to go back we'll click the world map and go back down here to these folks. And now we get our first activity from them. They want to go out and do some looting. And I'm not going to read all these to you, but there's a vehicle stuck. They think they can go out and get something out of that vehicle, so let's let them try. Oh, and boy, we lucked out. They came back uninjured, which they often come back injured. They brought us back some metal and some components, so that's lovely. That also reminds me of the other thing that we absolutely want to get down as quickly as we can is a medical tent, because we will get people who are sick. We will get people who are injured. Yeah, let's move this over a little. Let's put a little road on this side as well. I can't. Never mind. That'll do. That'll do. All right, let's put a medical tent right there and build that next. So we're getting low on food. How close are we to harvest? 79%, 87%. Okay, so this one, we'll watch it closely. If we get really low on the food, we'll go ahead and, you can see too, our problem also is that, and this mechanic, I can't swear I like it, but, because I have no notice that he's not picking up anything. I'd like to know. But anyway, I'm going to move his work area from where it was to over here so he can pick up those berries. And now Platty's ready to move again. So as I said, we could go pick up that concrete, which would be useful. We could use the concrete. But I'm looking for research. Now here we run into our first bandits. You'll notice we've got a fairly strong set of bandits in a lair. They are guarding, what is that? Fiber, which we can use for clothing later. So that'll be nice. But Platty has almost zero attack. She's a 1 attacker, which is the weakest. She's really she's an okay scavenger and an okay researcher. So she's sort of a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. But we'll send her off to do some more research. Okay. Getting awfully low on that food, so let's go ahead and harvest this one and make sure we get some food in there. We'll let the others grow out, but we'll go ahead and harvest that one. And so they'll harvest the corn, and then they will plant potatoes. And this one, since it was destroyed, I'm going to say next time you grow potatoes as well. So that should address the food. We've got plenty of food coming in now because of that harvest. And so we should be all right. And Platty, go find us some research, please. Well, there's some tools. Again, useful, but not what we're looking for. Okay. All right, now, these guys want to go dumpster diving. They think that if they had some tools and clothes to help them out, they could go out and do a little looking into a landfill and maybe come back with some good stuff. So we have the option now. We can either give them the tools and clothing, which we'll have to take out of our inventory. That'll increase their ability, their probability of being successful, or we can just let them go without it and hope, or we can tell them, no, why don't you stay? If we say no, people aren't going to be happy with it. So you have to kind of play against your happiness and your resources. Do I have them or not? A lot of times you just simply don't, but we do. So let's make them go out and do their thing. We cost us 2 tools and 2 clothing. We got back an infected colonist, and we got 12 metal. Now that 12 metal can be converted into 6 tools. So you could argue that at the end of the day, we kind of came out ahead. And one person infected, that's why we have this medical tent. That person now is in the tent being attended to, and they'll get healthy and be fine eventually. So that worked out okay. which also points out there's two other things that we need to have to get our kind of our base going here, so we don't have unclothed, untooled people. We need a tailor and a tool shop. So let's go ahead and set those up. A tool shop, and I'm going to pause it, and a tailor. I'm going to pause that, and they need a place to store their goods, so we're going to put in a storage, and we'll build that first. And let's see here. All right, Platty. There we go. Here's research. We have discovered a museum. Now, in that museum, there's a certain number of points. In this case, 341 of them. And it's a good one because there's no bandits guarding it and there's no booby traps. So our Platty's going to be able to go in there and gather up the research items without fear of blowing up. So we'll come back to her next turn. She used up her entire turn doing the scouting. Next turn, we'll have her go get us some research. So we got all the materials for this, so we can go ahead and unpause this guy. Okay, we're starting to harvest our corn over here, which is good. The one that got blown up is almost ready to be harvested, so our food should be okay. Our water. All right, let's see what we got going on here now. All right, so now we've got a couple of colonists who are fighting. Not surprising enough, this is not the most pleasant environment to be in. And we've got to figure out what to do about it. Do we punish the person who started the fight? Do we punish the person who was aggressive in terms of fighting? Do we just give them both medicine and tell them to go about their ways? Or do we just say, have a good time? And each one of these has a different outcome. But let's just, and I can tell you that I would tend to just give them the medicine and move them on their way, which the game tends to, so far as I've seen, tends to say if you do a nice thing, you get a nice result, so to speak. We're going to punish the instigator. So they're both injured. They're both going to have to go to the medical tent and get fixed up, so we lose some labor. And our colony gets a little bit unhappy, but not a big deal. We've got to address that homeless situation, and we're about to. So here we go. Platty is going to go do some research for us by scavenging in this museum. And with her being a level 3 researcher, which is decent, that goes 1 to 5, she was able to get us 150 research points. And that took up her whole turn. So we'll go back here now and we'll go to the tech tree. Now the tech tree has food research that you can do. It has production research for energy, recycling junk into parts, storing energy. It has colony things, which are communal living, which gives you slightly better housing than the emergency shelters, and education, so that you can educate your children so that they are more productive citizens when they become adults. And then some other things for even better housing, and some, even way down the road, some entertainment for folks to make them happier. Then we have security side of things. We have storage. We have hazmat engineering, which is basically getting rid of the nuclear waste that's out there on the ground so people aren't walking through it all the time. And eventually a medical center, which is really a medical tent, which you can put up, which is a more efficient health service than the little tent that we have now. The medical center is a better, takes a little electricity, and it does a better job than the tent that we have now. But our tent is fine for what we need now. And our last one is in exploration. We have the ability to improve our bartering so that we get better deals from tradesmen who might come to our gate, and bigger and better deals. And also we can forecast these catastrophes, these disasters, with a bigger time window to give us more time to prepare, because you have to prepare in different ways for each one. But we want, what is it we want? We want the housing. So we're going to go look at the housing. We've got enough points to get that. This is going to unlock the shanty, the tenement, and some decorative items. So we only got 50 points left right now, so we'll hold on here for a second. I'm going to pause this. So now I'm ready to give these folks a place to live. So we're going to go with tenements. The two possibilities, tenements will house 8 people and cost you, as you can see, some planks, metal, and concrete. Shanties will house 3 people with lower costs of the same 3 items. But the difference between the two is the shanty, there's a little more privacy. Folks get together and enjoy one another, and we end up with babies. And actually, we don't want any babies right now. We're going to go, because of the current state of the game, there's not enough resources for you to grow super fast. If you do, you will just fail. So we're going to use tenements. And we're going to set up a tenement here, right downtown, nice and handy. And we'll build a tenement for folks to live in. That'll take care of 8 of our 10. And once it's done, we'll build another tenement. And actually, you'll notice I paused that tenement because I want to build one thing at a time. So we're going to finish off this thing here. And I got to check this and see we're not picking up anything. Okay, our first catastrophe is about to hit us. It's a meteor shower. So hell is going to rain down upon us from the skies, and we're going to get a lot of damage to our colony. We want to have some shelters to keep us from having too many injuries from this. So that means we want to get those a couple of tenements built and have people ready to repair. All right, so we've got to prepare for our first catastrophe, this meteor storm, and we've got to do something else here. That's probably my biggest flaw as a player, is move this work area again and make sure that they are, well, my biggest current flaw that I know of. Move this stockpile so it's picking up the concrete and planks that are around, and make sure that okay, we're still picking up, well, we got one more. We'll pick up that one last berry, and then we'll move the food storage so that it's also picking up food, maybe up here. And these guys are good. There's no warning message. They give you a message saying that these two are out. I wish they would do the same actually for these, that you could have a message that tells you. The other thing is, you'll notice this down here, we've got this exclamation point, kind of these pulsating symbols coming out of it. That's telling us that our specialist is ready to move again. So she's rested, and we're going to go have her do some more research. So she got us another 150 points to give us back up to 200 points. So we're going to go back to our colony now, go back to our tech tree, and decide what do we want next. Now, what I'd like to do is go to the food tree, where you have communal eating, which is a cookhouse and logging camp. We're going to research that, and I'll show you how that works. And actually, you know what? I kind of wish I had done education first, but that's okay. Our next turn we'll do education. So we've got our 3 farms coming in here, bringing us some vegetables, right? And we also see we can do some fishing, which we also need to do. We only have 2 workers, though, so our problem is we really need more people. We need somebody else to come to the gate. We need more workers at this point because, we need to be able to support the bare minimum. Getting some food, metal and plastic and fiber, making tools, making clothes, and gathering up resources and doing some building for us. So we need to get all that done. So I'm going to fast forward this again. You notice I play on fast forward. I apologize for that. I know it's probably too fast for some people, but I don't have the patience to sit here and watch these people slowly walk through their day. So Anyway, as I was saying, the thing we're really wanting to do is get a critical mass. This is why the easier start is so much easier, because you have that little critical mass that you need to really get started on your colony by just having the starting people. We do not. We've already brought in a couple extra people, and we still don't have enough people. We really, truly need some more. All right, they want to go do something else down the river. They want got a little raft and want to go down the river, see what they can come up with. They did okay. They came back with 9 fish, so we got some fish to eat. Now, we've got this meteor storm. Let's pause for a second. We can do action out in the world, but we've also got this meteor storm coming. The meteor storm is, as I said, going to just rain hell down on us and tear up some of our buildings. It won't necessarily destroy them. It'll probably damage a lot of them, but if it hits these fields, it will destroy them. So one of the things we want to think about, you have to kind of prepare for each of these storms or these catastrophes. In the case of the meteor, if we had 3 fields, that if these 2 fields were, say, further along in their development, and we had maybe half a field of crops that we could harvest, we would go ahead and do that right now. This one's already being harvested, so it's not a problem. So we're really in good shape on the food. We're doing all we can do. Now, the other thing we need to think about as soon as we get some of this built is our water. Our water is a +2 right now, and we're really wasting that extra 2. So a tower would be nice to start accumulating the extra 2 in case of emergency later on. But we also know we've got old Platty out here wanting to do something, and she's going to go get us the rest of that research. Okay, they only gave us 141. That's not enough for a school, so we'll have to hold off till later to get that. Okay, so she's done what she can do. Now let's go back to our colony and let these people keep building. Would like to have a couple of these done before. All right, we've got all the materials on this. Let's unpause this one. Let's resume this one and start gathering stuff up. And again, my biggest flaw is not having this set up to gather and wasting time. We should already have these materials so that I could get this tenement built. Okay, we've got our tool shop. And I'm actually going to pause that because I want the worker out doing other stuff for us. I want to get this stuff gathered up. Back to Platty. She's ready to do some more. We could go get some tools. We could get some concrete, which we're getting a little low on. We could get this food right here, which isn't really in that bad a shape, or we could find something else to look at. Let's go do some more exploring. Okay. We don't want to be, it'll take us too long to beat out that camp with just Platty, so that one's not going to help us. All right. Here we go. 1 adult, 2 children. This one, Jen, looks like she's going to be fast. She has a high exploration rating, kind of on everything else, but we'll definitely want her. Now let's stop this for a second. Now we have more homeless, no surprise, but we also have more workers, so that's all on net good. Food-wise, if we bring more people in, let us set up a fishing dock right there, and get some fishing so we have a different type of food coming in. And our water is now negative, so we have to have water right away. Let's see, we need another well. We don't want them too close to each other. That looks good right there. And we need to make this higher priority because we have to have that water or we're going to be in trouble. Now she can go get us concrete. And let's see. Okay, here's one where they want to go out and do a search. We can't, if we could give them planks, they would be almost certainly coming back with something good. We'll have them search. Oh, they did all right. 3 clothing, 9 junk, and a couple of people got sick. No big deal. We've got the health facility set up, so we're okay there. And let's keep on trucking here. I think I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut out these two as well. We've got some plastic. We've got some metal to work with. We need other things to get done before we worry about the plastics and metal. Oh, here's some wood. Oh, the planks would be very nice. Now notice the planks have that one hazard, one skull. So there's a 33% chance of getting hurt by one hazard. So it's like 33% of a small amount of injury. So it's not bad. And it's the same thing up here with this, but it's worth the risk. And if we play this further, we'll see some times where it's maybe not worth the risk. What we'd really like to see is get some of this building done. All right, grab some more concrete. Okay, she's gathered up all the concrete. She's holding 36 concrete, so we're going to have her take that back next turn. And let me slow this down so you can see what it looks like in real time. So far, not so bad. Tool shop took a hit, so we'll have it repaired. Sorry, I gotta speed this up. All right, let's check the damage. Now, that was nothing. That was a minor one. We got away lucky there. We didn't lose any of our fields. We didn't. I take that back. We did lose the tool shop altogether. It got destroyed. And yeah, you can see it. It got destroyed. So we lost our tool shop. Shucks. Otherwise unscathed, so that wasn't too bad. So let's see. We need to get this water done. It's on high priority. So let's go ahead and let them keep working on that. We still don't have people in homes, but that's okay. All right, let's go out here and let's go get some wood. We really need that wood. And there you see the injury. She got the one. She went against the odds. She got her 1/3 chance of being injured. She was injured. She lost 20 of her hit points, so now she's down from 100 to 80. Okay, you go up here and pick up food. And you come back. Now she just delivered her concrete, and now she can go ahead. She's got 4 points left, so she can go out here and go ahead and gather up some food from that farm. All right. Okay, so here we have a group of people who want to join us who are in dire needs. They've got a lot of people injured. We could give them medicine and send them off, but we want the people. So we're going to bring them in. We're going to get some corn, some clothing, and 4 colonists. We also have several people who are injured. So again, this has to get done. But now we have more people doing our work, which is great. We have 3 colonists injured. I'm going to go ahead and add a person here and speed up the recovery process for those folks. We got our water back up. That's good. And we can go back out here to the map. You can see the game is slow. The game's a little slow. It also isn't so slow. It keeps moving. So we've gathered up all the wood. We're going to have her again. She's not ready yet to move. Excuse me. All right. So there, we finally finished one of the tenements, and let's do another one. How are we on food? Food's okay. And now that we've got some people, we'll take advantage of that research we did with the food. All right, she's ready to go gather up some more food, and that's all we can do. We've got 1 tenement built. We've got 9 homeless, which means we actually need 2 more of those suckers. So I'm going to put one in here back to back like that and pause that one. Try to get this one done. And we're going to tell Platty to bring our wood back for construction. And back to here. And good, we've got this one, got all the materials. We're waiting for that to get built. What do these guys want to do? They want to do they see a vehicle down in a crevasse. They want to see if they can get something out of it. 1 injury, 4 components. Not a bad deal. We got components. Now, we haven't even gotten into the parts and components. They'll come up later in more advanced things that we can build, but it's nice to get them early when you can. It's really, really helpful. All right, so this person has 8 movement points. I'm going to use them to go out here and get these kills. So she picked up 8 of the 10. She can take her next turn to pick the last 2. And we'll have Platty. There's only 1 jerky there, but we'll pick it up eventually here. All right, back to our colony. Again, we're trying to get these houses built, so let's get that built. Okay, now we've got 2. We've got 1 person homeless. And I think, yeah, we don't have education, so we can't build a school yet. But I'm going to set the place for it. Draw a little road down here. We'll put the school right down here. The school could be anywhere. We could put the school out here, as far as I can tell. They don't. The children just show up there. There's no teacher. They just show up there. It's a little weird. All right. So, we want to get this wood into Proctorville. For sure. Now, the reason she has no points left, even though she only moved a short distance, the reason she can't come out right now is she's going to heal. So she's below 100 health. So she will recover in Proctorville, and that's based on her. She actually has a rating for her ability to recover, so she'll recover at a certain rate of speed, and when she's back to 100%, she'll be available to go out and do work for us again. In the meantime, Lynn is ready. She'll grab the rest of those tools for us, and we'll back to our colony. All right, oh, good. Now here our third tenement's going up, so let's go ahead and boost our food and resume the building of that fish. Now we've got 8 carriers now. That's almost half our staff, so we don't need that many. We can reassign these 2, so we can put 1 person on each of these. You notice we could have 2 total, and we'll do that later. We'll double up and make the rate that we're creating that stuff even faster. But for now, we've got to manage our folks and make sure we don't overstress ourselves. So, Bandit's at the gate. Let's see what he's got to say. So this guy's got a big backpack with a bunch of stuff in it. He wants to do a trade. He can give us 7 components for 6 planks, which is a really good deal. It really is. Or he could give us 3 parts for 8 metal, which is also a pretty good deal. I like the components. We're going to trade with him and get those 7 components. So there we have 14, because we're going to need them later on when we want to get into power and all that kind of stuff. All right, so go pick up that one. It's a shame to use a whole turn to pick up 1 piece of food, but that's okay. My sense of order won't allow me to not pick it up. Now she's got some tools, which would be nice. She's got some jerky, which would also be nice. Let's go ahead and send her back. She can go back to Proctorville. All right, she's still got 2 points left. Send her out to start exploring somewhere else. All right, so we've got... All right, there we go. Now we've got some fishing going on. Now, we've got 5 unassigned people plus our 3 farmers that are kind of unassigned. They work part-time on their farms. What do we want to do with them? One thing I'd like to do is actually go out here. I'd like to move this work area for the food out here, because I'd love to see that get cleaned up, because there's some good fertile land right here. I'd like to put some more farms in. But the other thing we can do for our farming is we can build a cookhouse. So we're going to put a cookhouse in here. Let's see, where do I want it? I think I'd like it right there. And then we also need, to go along with that, we need a logging camp. Now this logging camp, we can put it right there. So let's build those 2 things. I'm already not doing what I said. I'm already building 2 things at once, but we've got a pretty good set of supplies right now. Notice they'll go up pretty quickly. They should. Okay. One problem, we're not picking up any planks. So we need to move your work area. Let's go get these nearby planks and that little bit of concrete first. Okay. All right, now this logging camp, we're going to move its work area out here where we have trees, and they're going to gather logs. Those logs are used for firewood. The firewood's used in our cooking camp for doing cookhouse to cook. All right, let's see what other trouble we can get into with these guys. Now we see components. Let's start picking those up. And back to the real world, or back to our colony. Okay, 4 adults. They didn't bring us a specialist. That's a shame, but we'll take the people. Welcome aboard. So we've got room for 32. We've got 24, and we've got 21. So we're okay. Our water's still good. Oh, and we need to... a quick word about the water. When we get certain disasters, either some sort of health issue or a heat wave, we're going to double up our water consumption. So we're consuming 21. It's going to be consuming 42 in that case with the people we have. We're only producing 24, which means we're going to go in the hole. Now we do have 300 stored. That's probably in bottles here. I don't know where it is actually. I guess it's in this original thing here. But what we need to do, we can either build a water tower and store, or we can go with build more and more wells. Now, I like to have the wells so that I'm making so I have the ability to produce twice the water that I'm actually using in the colony. However, the maintenance on the wells is much higher than the maintenance on the water towers. So when you have catastrophes like meteor storms that start knocking stuff down and you have to maintain a whole bunch of wells, that can be tough. So what we're going to do here, since we do have a surplus, we're going to build a water tower and start accumulating that surplus into the tower. We've already got our cookhouse going up. That's great. How's our food? Food pretty good. See if this guy's got anything we need. 28 metal for 2 components. That's not awful. Let's see if he's got anything else. No, not really. All right. Bye, bud. All right, nothing there. All right, so now we have a cookhouse. So here's what we do with that. Our cookhouse now, it can either, the reason you want to do the cookhouse and the logging is the logging supplies the logs for the fire. The cookhouse with one person here, let's look at this. Look at this. We're doing a veggie meal. Can take 5 vegetables and 1 log and turn it into 10 meals. So in effect, it's doubling our production of food just from that building if we just go with veggies. So all these potatoes we're growing, we can turn those 5 potatoes into 10 meals rather than 1 meal the way they are now. So that is a big improvement. The other thing we can do is say, well, we really want you to make either meat meals, so just make, you see if fish is counted as a meat, we can just do meals of the fish we're producing, or we can say we want mixed meals. Now a mixed meal would take 3 meat and 4 veggies and a couple of logs and turn that into 10 meals. So basically you're over tripling the production of your meat and more than doubling the production of your veggies. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have mixed meals, which are more nutritious, which makes people more resistant to the infections that are going to come along later on as we start getting more and more catastrophes. So we've got a cookhouse now. We should be able to get supplies from this logging camp for the cookhouse and start improving our food production significantly. And then once we get this built, we'll start storing some water, which will make us in a lot better shape. All right, we still need to replace that tool shop that got knocked down by a meteor. So we'll try to do that next. Since we've got all the materials for our water tower, it's almost built. Let's go back out here and see what trouble these ladies can get into. We'll grab these components and we'll head back to our colony. All right, so now we have a water tower. We're collecting water, the excess water. We can store it in the tower. We have fish coming in. We've got a cookhouse which will eventually get started. Resources are supposed to be on the way. There we go. There's 3 meats. So we've got 3 fish in there to cook. Now we just need 4 veggies, which we have plenty of. We've got potatoes. Well, we've got plenty of potatoes. There we go. We've got the veggies. We got that. Now, here we go. The cook has shown up, and you can see that the cook can quickly turn or triple our meat and more than double our veggie production and give us 10 good meals out of that, 10 nutritious meals. So that's a good thing. So that's how the cookhouse works. And we're back here with our explorers. Let's see what trouble they can get into. More fighting. We don't really have any fighters yet. We hope to get some. Aha, more, ooh, shoot. That's guarded research. Man, may have to pass on that. All right. So why don't we just wrap up right there? As I said, this is an introduction. We've kind of, let me pause this. We're on day 12. We have, here. Let's show this. Look at this. We've got this little child here. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. This child and her mother, she's begging for medicine. We could give her the medicine and they would reward us with the seed for wheat, which we really, really want. But as you can see, we have 0 medicine right now, so we're going to have to send this little child and her sick mother away. Sorry, dear. Oh, and she says, you're mean and bad and evil. Why can't you help my mom? Because we can't, darling. Sorry. Okay. That's sad. Okay, that would have been great for us, and we could have done a good deed, but we just didn't have the resources to do it. So let's stop right there with our evil act, and that should be enough to kind of whet your appetite. I can tell you that as it moves on, even in its current early access state, we can build buildings to decontaminate and take this radiation off the land, give us more building room. We can build, as I said, a field hospital, a more efficient way to heal people. We can have other cookhouses doing other things. We can start building electricity. We can build primitive wind turbines and solar panels and generate electricity and some battery packs to store that electricity, and that will allow us to start creating our own parts out of the junk that we find out here that we've found with our scrapper. Our scrappers, our recycler, excuse me, is creating both fiber and junk, or plastics and fiber, and we also have junk laying around that we're picking up, and we can start making the junk into parts. We have to gather the components out in the world, out in our scavenging, but that will allow us to make more advanced buildings. So here's the deal. If I get 50 likes on this video, I will go ahead with this series and make some more and show you more of this game. And if not, that just tells me people aren't that interested and I won't worry about it. So if you like it, please give it a like if you liked it or if you want to see more of this game. And I hope you enjoyed this much of it and got a little taste for surviving the aftermath. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Surviving the Aftermath video.